What's going on, guys? It's Untold. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about getting crossfaded at the library. So it's gonna be a fucking banger. So if you enjoy this kind of content and want to see more of it, leave a like, comment, subscribe down below, and yeah, let's get this shit going. So this story takes place when I lived in Maryland in like the summer slash fall of 2022. After I had like gotten out of the rehab sort of thing I was at, I lived in Maryland for like a month and a half, 2 months afterwards, and this story takes place during that time period. So at the time, I was actually living in what's called an Oxford house, which is essentially like a sober living home. Like it's like a network of them. Like it's based off of like the original like Oxford group, which was like the precursor to Alcoholics Anonymous. So essentially, it was like a kind of like sober living house that was like tied into like AA. And like it was a requirement that you had to like go to meetings and stuff like while you were living at the house. Not a requirement, but like they definitely preferred it that you like went to meetings like while living there. And it just so happened that at the time of this story, my friend Declan had gotten kicked out of the sober house, the slash rehab that I used to be at, because he was still like enrolled in programming when I like left that rehab. He was still enrolled there, but he had gotten kicked out for like failing a drug test or some bullshit like that. So he got kicked out of that house and out of that like not kicked out of the rehab, but like kicked out of that house, and he was now trying to live on his own. And he didn't have a place, so he had like slept a couple nights on the street and shit. And then eventually, like he hit me up and he was like, "Yeah, like any child I could like slide over and like stay at your place for a while," because he knew I had my own room at this house. And I was like, "Yeah, like you can come by, you can stay here." Turns out that later down the line that it ended up like essentially almost getting me kicked out of the house because you're not supposed to have people over apparently for like multiple nights. Like you can have people over and stay, but he's like living at that house essentially and just wasn't paying rent, and I was paying all of it, and that apparently wasn't allowed. So that eventually turned into a problem. But at this point, it wasn't a problem. It was like one of the first couple days where he was staying there, and on this fateful day, we decided that we were gonna go and steal some fucking liquor. Not liquor. We were gonna steal some fucking drinks, dude. That's what we wanted. Like we were broke as fuck. We had no money. Like I barely could afford rent at the time. Like all my money went straight to rent. Mainly because I was fucking around too much in my job, and they started cutting my hours because I was like doing dumb shit at work and all that. But I had like no money. He had like no money. So we decided that we were gonna go and we were gonna go steal some alcohol. And we had this fucking grand plan. And we were chilling in my room, talking it out for a little bit. And eventually we decided, yeah, we're gonna go and we're gonna get an Uber over there because his parents and his mom would like load up his Uber account with like Uber dollars that you couldn't like take out and like use as actual money, but you could like use it on like Uber Eats and like Uber rides and shit. So we had like hella bread for Uber. So he calls us an Uber over to this place, and the store is, I think it's a Dawson's Market or some shit. Like yeah, it was a Dawson's Market, and we pull up to this Dawson's Market. I have my backpack, and we fucking stroll inside. And once we get in there, I had never stolen any alcohol in my life prior to this. This is my first time doing it, and because of that, I was pretty fucking nervous. And I had this backpack, and we get in there, and he immediately goes over to the alcohol section. I follow suit. I follow him. He grabs my backpack. I give him my backpack. He looks around for like a brief second, sees that nobody's over there, and he loads this fucking, I don't know, I got some weird meat or some shit. He got some dumbass shit like meat or something, like a bottle of that, and that's it. And I, on the other hand, was too fucking pussy to throw shit in the bag. So he went and he like he didn't take my bag, like he gave me back my bag and like walked out of the store, right? And like he was waiting for me to take my shit and leave too. But I was like taking a fucking long ass time. So I'm like looking around trying to make sure the coast is like 100% clear. And eventually there's this worker lady who was like sitting over there kind of close to the section like restocking some shelves. And once she goes and like fucks off and does her own thing, I open up my backpack again and I fucking load it up. I get this 6-pack of beer, and there's a funny story about this later, I'll tell you. But I get this 6-pack of beer. I don't even look at the beer. I just grab the first 6-pack that I see, and then I grab a couple like 19-ounce like sort of tall boy cans of I think it was Voodoo Ranger or Sierra. No, it was Sierra Nevadas. Yeah, it was a couple Sierra Nevadas, right? And I load that shit in my bag, and I skedaddle out of the fucking store. And immediately, I'm just ecstatic as fuck, dude. I'm just happy as shit. Like, we got our weed pen that we had. We have alcohol now. Like, we're set. So we decide that we're gonna head over to the library and wait because Declan's girlfriend at the time was doing some like tutoring bullshit at the library for her school, and we wanted to hang out with her after. Like she finished that, but she was in the library. So we decided, yeah, let's just go chill at the library. We pull up to the library and we immediately go to the stairwell. And we go up a couple floors, maybe like 3 or 4 stories up. We climb these stairs and we essentially just have a seat on the stairs. And we start cracking into these drinks. And the moment I open up my backpack, I realized that the beer I had picked was some kind of like. That's the problem with like Dawson's Market and like other like kind of bougie ass stores like that is they got some weird ass alcohol. Like they don't got like they do have like normal shit like Bud Light and shit, but like the majority of the shit they sell is like weird craft shit. Like he got that Declan got that weird ass mead in like a glass bottle. Like I got the beer I ended up getting was fucking coffee beer. It was like beer like made with like coffee beans or some shit, and it had like a high ABV or some, it had like a 7% ABV, but like it tasted like fucking coffee and it was weird as fuck. Like it wasn't like bad, but it was just really strange. And I'm sipping on this shit. I'm getting fucking drunk as hell. And I end up saving one of the beers for the girl, Declan's girlfriend. Her name isn't that important in this story at least, but in some of my other stories I'm gonna tell, her name will be a lot more important. So I'm gonna give her name now. Her name is Tess. And yeah, Tess, I save her one of my beers so she can have it because she's like she can hang out like for a little bit after her tutoring gets over with, but her parents are like on her ass, and they were like gonna like immediately pick her up like after the tutoring. So she didn't have like much time before her like dad came up to pick her up. But I gave her a beer. We were hitting this pen. I'm getting crossfaded to shit. Like I'm sitting there and I'm like smacking the fuck out of this wax pen, like chugging these beers. Like I'm like at this point I'm like I've drank like maybe 6 beers, 7 beers, and I'm drunk as fuck, and it's amazing. Like it's crazy. So we're chilling there for like 30 minutes, and eventually Tessa's parents come and they come pick her up. So she's got to go, but we got her like a little bit drunk and like nice and high before she got to go. So she at least she was set for the night. But me and Declan, on the other hand, we were still trying to kick it. We were still trying to go and like fuck around and do shit. So we decide that hey, we want the first thing is we want cigarettes, and the problem with cigarettes, at least for us, is that we weren't 21 yet. So we had to find places that wouldn't card us, and we were also like hunting for the best value. So we pooled together our money and we like the little money that we had, and we went over to this hookah lounge. This hookah lounge never carded us. We'd bought from them like before. I'd bought like an elf bar from them. Like they've bought shit from them like in the past too. And we go there and we decided we're gonna get a bag of rolling tobacco, American Spirit rolling tobacco, and some rolling papers, and we're gonna roll our own cigarettes. And Declan knows how to roll pretty fucking good. Like I can't roll for shit even to this day, but Declan can roll like a fucking champ. So we go and he rolls up this fucking cigarette for us, and it's amazing. We're smoking this shit. It's awesome. And eventually we make the decision that yeah, here's what we should do. We should go to a fucking AA meeting right now. Like we at this point, like I had stopped going to meetings. Like I was forced to go to meetings for like 3 months, like when I was doing the rehab. But like now that me and him were both like not really doing that shit anymore, like we did not ever really consider like, going to meetings, like actually like going to meetings to like do the meeting and like listen to the meeting and shit. But we thought it'd be a funny idea to like go to an AA meeting and just fuck around. So we decide, yeah, we're gonna do that. So we leave the hookah lounge and we head over to the bus station. And we're sitting there waiting for the bus, and while we're sitting there waiting for the bus, we're like overhearing this like woman on the phone like having a giant argument, and me and him are just dying, dude. Like we can barely hold in our fucking like laughter. And this woman, like after she hangs up the phone, like she notices that we were fucking laughing, and she like literally says to us like, "What the fuck are you laughing about?" And we're like, "Nothing, nothing, nothing." And like she trying to play it off, and she knows we're just bullshitting, so she gives us a little more shit, and then we eventually get on the bus. And once we get on the bus, we're chilling there. It's gonna be about like a 30-minute bus ride, so we're chilling there, just vibing out. I'm hitting the pen a little bit, and I'm getting even higher and higher and higher. And the more I sit there, the drunker I'm becoming, just by virtue of me continuing to sip on some more of the Lucierre Nevadas that I had in my backpack. But eventually, we're like halfway through this bus ride, and then out of the fucking blue, this guy gets on the bus, and me and Declan look at each other. We know who this guy is. Like, this guy fucking, our friend Brendan just rolled up on this bus at this random ass bus stop. Like, Brendan doesn't even live anywhere near this fucking bus stop that we were at, and he was just randomly on the bus. So we see this guy, and we're immediately shooting the shit with him. Like, he comes up to us, he's like, "Yo." He's like, "Ryan and Declan, like, what? Yo, what are you guys doing here?" And we're like, "We're about to go to an AA meeting." He's like, "What the fuck?" Like, like he was confused as shit, and we're just telling him, "Yeah, we want to fuck around at the AA meeting, right?" Like, we're drunk and high, and we want to go to the AA meeting and fuck around. Like, obviously, at the time, we didn't really consider that. Like, it'd probably be awkward as fuck because everybody there would know that we're blasted. Because dude, you can't pull a fast one on an alcoholic, dude. Like, these motherfuckers at AA meetings, like, they'll know. Like, these fuckers with like 40 years of sobriety will be like, they're looking at you and like they'll take one fucking peek at you and they'll know that you're fucking wasted. So we didn't really consider that, but we were like, yeah, let's go to this AA meeting. So we're on the bus, and eventually I start to feel like super shitty. Like, I start to feel like really nauseous, and like I just want to like lay down and like not like do anything anymore. I want to go back home and just sleep. And eventually I'm like, I can't do this anymore. So I tell Declan, like, yeah, we shouldn't go to this meeting, dude. We gotta go back to my place. So we get back, we don't get back to my place immediately. We leave the bus and wait for a different bus to take us back to my house. And we get on that second bus, and I'm just feeling like shit the entire ride. Eventually we get back, and I have to like sneak him in, right? Because right at this point it's like pretty late. It's like at this point it's like maybe like 9 o'clock, like 9:30, and I gotta sneak him in. And the problem is like there's a lot of guys who live at this house, and none of them know at this point that he's like trying to live there with me. And I don't want to like jeopardize and make him like have to live like sleep on the street again or anything. So I want to sneak him in, make sure it's as like inconspicuous as possible. So I sneak him in, and on the way in, like I opened the door first, I clear it out, and no one's there, and I bring him in, and we go back downstairs, and we slump, dude. We both pass the fuck out. I wake up the next fucking morning, he's not even there. Like, he had already gone to work and shit. Like, it was that fucking late when I woke up again. But yeah, guys, that's about it for this story. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'll catch you guys on the flip side.